The last guest of room 307.
Part 6. The Name on the Wall. The iron door groaned as it slowly opened. Freezing wind rushed through the underground chamber. The chains lay broken on the floor. Beyond the doorway stood Eleanor. Her white dress drifted as though under water. Her black eyes reflected no light. She smiled at Mark. Not with joy, not with anger, but with recognition, as if she had finally found someone she had been searching for. Sarah grabbed Mark's arm. Hey, run. Two raced deeper into the tunnels. Behind them came slow footsteps. Not hurried, not frantic. Eleanor didn't need to chase. She knew they couldn't escape. Every step echoed through the darkness. And somehow her footsteps always sounded closer than they should. The tunnel opened into an ancient underground chapel. Dust covered the wooden benches. Broken candles lay scattered across the floor. Strange symbols had been carved into the walls. Sarah stopped. This is where they tried to stop her. Mark looked around. The room felt abandoned. Yet something still lingered there. Watching. Waiting. Hidden beneath the altar was an old journal. Its pages were yellow with age. Mark opened it. The entries described Eleanor. Not as a ghost, not as a demon, but as something far older. Something that existed long before Blackwood Hotel was ever built. According to the journal, travelers had vanished in these mountains for centuries. Long before roads existed. Long before electricity. They all reported the same thing. A woman in white. A knock in the darkness. And a smile that wasn't human. As Mark turned another page, a photograph fell out. His heart stopped. Picture showed a man standing outside Blackwood Hotel. The man looked exactly like his grandfather. On the back of the photo was a date. October 11th, 1987. One day before the disaster. Sarah looked at the photo. I remember him. Mark stared at her. He stayed in room 307. The room spun around Mark. His grandfather had disappeared before Mark was born. His family never knew what happened. Now he finally had an answer. Or at least part of one. Sarah's expression darkened. Eleanor doesn't choose randomly. She pointed to another journal entry. Creature marked entire bloodlines. Generation after generation. When one victim escaped her grasp, She waited for the next. Heh, Mark suddenly understood. His name had been on the wall before he arrived. Because this had started long before he was born. The chapel grew colder. Whispers filled the room. Hundreds of voices. Then thousands. Among them, Mark heard a familiar voice. His grandfather. Don't trust her. The words echoed through the darkness. Sarah looked shocked. She hadn't heard it. Only Mark had. A shadow stretched across the chapel floor. The candles reignited by themselves. One by one, Mark slowly turned around. Eleanor stood at the entrance. Silent. Motionless. Smiling. The blackness in her eyes seemed endless. For the first time, Eleanor spoke directly to Mark. I can end this. Her voice sounded strangely gentle. No more fear. No more running. No more death. She extended her hand. Come with me. For a brief moment, Mark felt tempted. Before Mark could answer, a section of the chapel wall collapsed. Behind it lay a hidden chamber. Inside stood dozens of old coffins. One coffin had been forced open. Its lid lay broken on the floor. And carved into the wood were 3 words. Mark was here. The date beneath the message read, October 12th, 1987. Nearly 40 years before he was born. Mark stared in disbelief. How could that be possible?
To be continued.
End of part 6. Teaser for part 7. Mark has discovered something impossible. Evidence that he was somehow connected to Blackwood Hotel decades before his birth. Who or what is he really? Why does Eleanor seem to know him? And what lies inside the opened coffin? In part 7, the truth behind Mark's identity will begin to unfold, and the nightmare will take a darker turn than ever before. Don't miss part 7 of The Last Guest of Room 307.